What is your place in the world? How much of the world do you know? From North America to South America, from Europe to Asia to the Middle East, from Africa to Australia. How much do you know about the daily life style of the people around the world? What is the social norms and what is their cultural perspective? Do you think that everyone in the world behaves the same as the people around you? Ethnocentrism is the belief that one's cultural group is centrally more important and superior to others, whether it's got to do with food, religion, politics, or any custom or rituals, or anything else. When we as human beings judge someone from the position of our own cultural and social norms, we are becoming more ethnocentric. As ethnocentric people, they tend to use their own cultural norms to make generalization about other people's culture and custom. An important fact to understand about ethnocentrism is that ethnocentrism can lead to cultural misinterpretation, and it often misrepresents and changes how we communicate with each other. Like everyone else, I was also at fault with being ethnocentric in the past. There was a period of time where I generalized and make judgment about others based on how I see the world and not put myself in their shoes. For example, please think about this for a minute. As Americans, we often talk about British drivers driving on the wrong side of the road. Why not just say opposite side or even left hand side instead of saying on the wrong side? We talk about reading Hebrew or Arabic as reading backward. Why not just say from right to left or in the opposite direction of English? We also consider certain types of art as barbaric or primitive, but are they really so? The problem is that we do not put ourselves in other people's shoes as often as we should, and therefore our perception of how we think about the world and other people who are different than us might be biased in our favor. While ethnocentric views are not necessarily intended, they have led to major human disasters throughout history, causing bullying, discrimination, intolerance, war, genocide. One of the controversial topics in American history is about slavery and the segregation of black and white before the 21st century. Even though slavery was abolished, many Americans back then are very ethnocentric about the importance of white culture and view blacks and minorities as inferior to them. This lack of understanding between different cultures and ideologies caused many outcry debates and tensions between different groups of people. Looking back during the segregation era and still in today's world, there are many ethnocentrics who forget that there are other cultures and viewpoints beside their own, and develop a stereotypes or cynical generation about others, eventually developing the mindset of us versus them mentality. So, is there anything that we can do to better ourselves and reduce ethnocentric view? Yes, there is. Many people have rallied support for the cultural relativism movement, a principle that a person's beliefs and activities should be understood and make sense in terms of his or her own culture and not from the outsider perspective. In short, it is important to put yourself in the other person's shoes to understand how the person sees and interact with the world. This concept means that due to human diversity across the world, it is logical sound to have diverse and different environments in which different groups live and interact with each other. Therefore, everything is relative to each other in some level. It is important to understand that on a certain level, nothing is absolutely right or absolutely wrong either. For example, some cultures do not eat pork due to their religion, while some other cultures are fine with eating pork. Whether an action is right or wrong depends on the moral norms of the society in which it is practiced. The same action might be morally right in one society but be morally wrong in another. Think about it. Female beauty and arts, in your opinion, are they culturally universal? Why or why not? Cultural relativism is important in providing objective insight into other cultures. It promotes cross-cultural empathy, understanding, and collaboration with emphasis on similarities among human cultures. Cultural awareness and acceptance is an important step toward a better and a peaceful world. What are your thoughts on cultural perception and generalization?